Good afternoon, I'm Abe.
And I'm Frank. And today, we're admiring the first half of Chapter 31, American Life in the Roaring 20s, in Bailey, Kennedy, and Cohen's The American Pageant textbook. Abe, start the drive.
In the aftermath of World War I, America became more isolationist than ever before, and one of the major results of this was the Red Scare. Americans were afraid that the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia would eventually spread the tenets of communism to the US, and the Americans were determined to stop it. Civil liberties were cut, and the Attorney General Mitchell Palmer arrested over 6,000 suspected communists. Elsewhere, criminal syndicalism laws were passed, which made it illegal to advocate violence in pursuit of social change, though many pointed out that this curtailed free speech. Conservative business were able to put the Red Scare to their advantage, vilifying organized labor as an enemy to their non-union American plan of how business should work. Now, Frank, could you tell me about the Ku Klux Klan 2.0?
Absolutely. The Roaring 20s, unfortunately, saw the rebirth of the Ku Klux Klan, an ultra-conservative group who opposed foreign immigrants, Catholics, blacks, Jews, pacifists, communists, bootleggers, gamblers, internationalists, and birth control. Though especially popular in the Bible Belt of America, the KKK collapsed in the late 20s after an embezzlement scandal prompted a congressional investigation into their affairs. Abe, in what way did Congress use legislative walls to block out immigrants?
Well, isolationist America wanted to drastically curtail the hitherto relatively unchecked flow of immigrants. Congress thus passed the Emergency Quota Act of 1921, which cut immigration to 3% of the current rate. Congress then passed the Immigration Act of 1924, which lowered the tariff from 3% to 2%. By 1931, for the first time ever, more people were leaving the country than arriving. Now, Frank, I like doing labs in chemistry. Could you tell me about the time when all of America did a lab together?
Absolutely. In the Prohibition Experiment, passed in 1919, America passed the 18th Amendment, which banned, quote, the manufacture, sale, or transportation of intoxicating liquors. Later enforced by the Volstead Act, it meant that to buy alcohol was now a federal crime. Right off the bat, this amendment ran into trouble. First off, there was vehement opposition in cities, especially among immigrant populations. Secondly, the state and federal agencies designed to enforce the ban were greatly understaffed and corrupt, which led to the rise of criminal syndicates and speakeasies, or saloons which served illicit liquor. Abe, how did the Volstead Act and 18th Amendment impact crime throughout America?
Well, even though illegal, the thirst for alcohol was still great, and vast criminal empires emerged to quench the demand. Through the use of bribing police and politicians, as well as murdering their opposition, gangsters like Al Capone and Lucky Luciano gained enormous power in their respective cities, only made possible through the massive profits of selling bootlegged alcohol. From alcohol, these criminal gangs or racketeers moved into other illicit industries, such as drugs, gambling, and prostitution. By 1930, it is estimated that the criminal gangs were earning twice as much money as the federal government itself. Now, Frank, could you tell me about the next section for those that have not seen Inherit the Wind?
Well, Professor John Dewey put forth the idea at this time that education's primary goal should be to prepare students for skills most applicable for the real world, and he focused on hands-on education to achieve this end. Now, I get your Inherit the Wind comment, because that's based off the famous Scopes monkey trial, where we saw that, unfortunately, not everyone was as progressive when it came to education as Dewey, as illustrated in the infamous Scopes monkey trial. In that instance, teacher John Scopes was prosecuted for teaching his biology students evolution, because fundamentalist Christians believed that students should only learn from the biblical history of man's creation, and not scientific fact. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe.
And comment down below if you have any questions. We'll catch you guys next time.